Now, the biggest collection of audio recordings by African poets is being made available on a mobile phone app. Listeners can hear nearly 400 poets read their own poems. The poets come from over 20 countries and poems are available in 14 different languages. This app is a first for Africa and the world. The site is called Badilisha Poetry Exchange and is accessible for anyone who has a smartphone. And as you can see from the website, it allows listeners to pick out poets by country, theme, or newly uploaded poems. Let's take a listen to one of the poems you can download now, called Africa by Albert Chitsanzo from Malawi.
Dangling the follies of crossfire, casting the mystery of presidential elections, crossing the political forest of readers, panting in agony of persistent hunger, winking at the grieving desertification, dancing to the orchestra of political governments, gesturing the warlord their destruction, whirling the wings of despair, passing through the intertwined economic recession. I am yearning for a full lawn of harmony bloom.
Well, with me now is Lemn Sissay, MBE, a poet based here in London of Ethiopian descent. Thanks for coming in, Lem.
Pleasure.
This is a great idea. Where did it come from?
It came from the Badilisha Poetry Exchange, and it came from the energy of South Africa and poetry. There is something happening in South Africa regarding poetry, which is not happening anywhere else from what I've seen. I was there in Grahamstown just a little earlier this year to see dynamic young poets performing, and have been for the past 15 years. So.
And absolutely, it makes it much easier for Africans to gain access to this poetry, because sometimes books are too expensive. But, you know, why is it necessary for Africans to be able to reach and read these poems or listen to these poems, as the case may be much easier?
It's the oral tradition, isn't it? And the oral tradition is everywhere in the world. I mean, the BBC is the oral tradition, you know, in practice, giving out news. But the beauty of poetry is that it links time, place, past, present, and the feeling. And I think that's something that maybe isn't transmitted in our everyday news, but it is transmitted in the news of poetry. We need to know how we feel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm loving it already, but how well has it been received on the continent?
3,000 people are accessing the site per month, and that's a success anywhere in the world. It was relaunched in October. There are 300 poets from 22 countries, both in the continent and in the diaspora, such as myself. So it marries me in the diaspora with Lemn Sissay, for example. They're the poet in South Africa. It brings us together in the kind of international border space of the internet, and it's accessible to everybody.
And Lem, of course, I mean, you've just written the official poem for the FA Cup here in England. I mean, what's your inspiration? Where do you get it from?
Well, inspiration is around us everywhere. It's right here, right now. It'll be, you know, when everybody's celebrating New Year's Day in the different parts of the world when it occurs, they will be inspired to party. You're inspired by your children, your wife, your husband, your friends. It's not something that is just for artists. Inspiration is for everybody, which is why the poetry app from Badilisha Poetry Exchange is a wonderful thing. And
Lem, listen, we're not going to let you go without asking you to read one of your poems for us. Have you chosen one?
I've chosen one for the new year, but for every day. It's called Let There Be Peace. Let there be peace, so frowns fly away like albatross, and skeletons foxtrot from cupboards. So war correspondents become travel show presenters, and magpies bring back lost property, children, engagement rings, broken things. Let there be peace, so storms can go out to sea to be angry and return to me calm, so the broken can rise up and dance in the hospitals. Let the aged Ethiopian man in the grey block of flats peer through his window and see Addis before him. So his thrilled, outstretched arms become frames for his dreams. Let there be peace, and let tears evaporate to form clouds, cleanse themselves and fall into reservoirs of drinking water, and let harsh memories burst into fireworks that melt in the dark pupils of a child's eyes and disappear like shoals of darting silver fish, and let the waves reach the shore with a shh.
I'm completely entranced. I should be giving you a standing ovation, Lem. That was a great poem. Just tell me very briefly the inspiration before that brought that poem about.
The inspiration for this is that whatever's happened to you, whatever your story, I lost all of my family very early on in my life, and I found them in my adult life. Whatever your story is, and however big the pain, there is peace.
Thank you very much, Lem, and thanks to our listeners for watching Focus on Africa. A very happy New Year to all of you. Goodbye.